What if aging the way most people experience it today is not inevitable? What if the wrinkles, the joint pain, the memory loss, the chronic fatigue, the declining energy, the weakening heart, and the deteriorating vision that most people accept as unavoidable consequences of getting older are not actually consequences of time passing at all? What if they are consequences of something far more specific, far more addressable, and far more reversible than anyone in the modern medical system has ever seriously told you? Here is a fact that the anti-aging pharmaceutical industry spends billions of dollars every year making sure stays buried beneath an avalanche of expensive creams, synthetic supplements, and cosmetic procedures that treat the surface while leaving the cause completely untouched. The oldest living populations in human history did not age the way we age today. Ancient Egyptian physicians who documented their observations across centuries noted that the elite members of their society who had access to specific plant medicines maintained their physical and mental capabilities decades longer than ordinary people. Ancient Chinese physicians built an entire branch of medicine called longevity medicine, dedicated exclusively to the specific plants and practices that slow biological aging at the cellular level. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians classified an entire category of plants called Rasayanas, specifically defined as substances that reverse biological degeneration and restore youthful function to aging tissues. Ancient Greek physicians documented specific plants that they prescribed not for treating disease, but for maintaining the vitality and physical capability of healthy people as they aged. These civilizations were not guessing. They were not working from mythology or superstition. They were working from thousands of years of careful observation of real human beings using real plants and producing real measurable results that their physicians documented in extraordinary detail. And then modern industrial civilization happened, and we forgot. We replaced 4,000 years of accumulated longevity wisdom with a system that profits from aging. A system that sells you treatments for the symptoms of aging while having zero financial incentive to address the biological causes of aging that plant medicine has been addressing for thousands of years. But modern science is now doing something remarkable. For the first time in history, molecular biologists have the tools to look inside aging cells and identify the exact mechanisms that drive biological aging. And what they are finding is extraordinary. The exact biological pathways that drive cellular aging, that cause inflammation to accelerate tissue degeneration, that shorten the telomeres that protect your DNA, that allow free radical damage to accumulate in your organs and your brain. Those pathways are being inhibited, reversed, and protected by the exact same plants that ancient physicians prescribed for longevity thousands of years ago. Today, I am going to show you 20 of those plants. Not the ones the anti-aging industry wants you to buy. The ones that ancient civilizations used daily. The ones that modern molecular biology is now confirming actually work at the cellular level where aging actually happens. Not just what they are, exactly how to use them, exact doses, exact recipes, exact preparation methods. The complete practical knowledge that could genuinely change the trajectory of how your body ages starting today. Stay with me for plant number 9. Because ancient Chinese longevity physicians prescribed this single plant as their most important anti-aging medicine for over 2,000 years. And modern molecular biologists studying it have discovered that it activates a specific genetic pathway called the NRF2 pathway that controls over 200 genes involved in cellular protection, inflammation regulation, and biological aging. 200 genes activated by one plant that ancient physicians already knew about 2,000 years ago. And plant number 20 is something so common, so inexpensive, and so universally available that when I tell you what it is, and what modern aging research has found about it, you are going to sit back and genuinely struggle to understand how this information is not on the front page of every health publication on Earth. Plant number 3 on our list today was prescribed by ancient Ayurvedic physicians specifically as a Rasayana, a substance that reverses biological degeneration and restores youthful function to aging tissues. They prescribed it for memory decline, physical weakness, and premature aging for over 5,000 years. And modern molecular biologists studying this plant have discovered that it does something that no pharmaceutical anti-aging drug currently in existence can do. It actually lengthens telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes that shorten with every cell division and whose length is now considered by longevity researchers to be one of the most accurate measurable indicators of biological age. This plant does not just slow telomere shortening. Published research shows it actually reverses it, lengthens them, makes them longer than they were before treatment began in a human clinical trial with real people, real measurements, real results. and ancient Ayurvedic physicians were prescribing it for exactly this kind of age reversal 5,000 years before the word telomere existed. Plant number 6 was used by ancient Chinese longevity physicians as their single most important medicine for what they called kidney essence preservation. In ancient Chinese medicine, the kidneys were understood to house the fundamental life energy that determines how quickly a person ages. Preserving kidney essence was the central goal of all longevity medicine, and this plant was their primary tool for achieving it. Modern research studying this plant has discovered that it contains compounds that activate the SIRT1 gene, the gene that controls cellular repair mechanisms, mitochondrial function, and inflammatory responses simultaneously. SIRT1 is sometimes called the longevity gene by researchers because its activation is associated with dramatically extended lifespan in multiple animal studies, and this plant activates it in humans in published clinical trials, using the exact same plant that ancient Chinese physicians prescribed 2,000 years ago for exactly the same purpose of slowing biological aging. Plant number 9, the one I promised you in the hook. Ancient Chinese longevity physicians called it the king of herbs. They prescribed it exclusively for emperors and the highest members of society because it was so rare and so extraordinarily valued that ordinary people simply could not access it. Ancient physicians documented that regular consumption over months produced improvements in energy, cognitive function, immune strength, and physical endurance that they described as returning the body to a younger state. And modern molecular biologists have discovered that this plant activates the NRF2 pathway that controls over 200 genes involved in cellular protection, antioxidant defense, inflammation regulation, and biological aging simultaneously. 200 genes, one plant. Ancient Chinese physicians prescribed it for emperors. Modern science has confirmed why. Plant number 14 will genuinely surprise you. It is not exotic, it is not expensive. It is not difficult to find. It grows wild in virtually every temperate climate on Earth and has been used medicinally across ancient Egyptian, Greek, Roman, and Chinese medicine simultaneously for over 3,000 years. But here is what nobody tells you about this plant. Modern aging researchers have discovered that it contains a compound that directly inhibits a protein called mTOR. The mTOR protein is one of the most important regulators of cellular aging ever identified by modern biology. When mTOR activity is reduced, cells live longer, cellular repair mechanisms become more active, and the accumulation of cellular damage that drives aging slows dramatically. Pharmaceutical companies have spent hundreds of millions of dollars developing synthetic mTOR inhibitors as anti-aging drugs. This plant inhibits mTOR naturally, has been doing so in human bodies for 3,000 years, and you can buy it for almost nothing at any market in the world. And plant number 20, the one I promised from the very beginning, so common, so inexpensive, so completely overlooked by everyone searching for anti-aging solutions, inexpensive supplements, and exotic treatments. Modern aging research has identified a specific compound in this plant that activates a cellular cleaning process called autophagy. Autophagy is the process by which your cells identify and remove damaged proteins, dysfunctional organelles, and cellular debris that accumulate with age and drive the degeneration of every tissue in your body. When autophagy declines, as it does with age, cellular garbage accumulates, tissues degenerate, organs lose function, biological aging accelerates. This plant activates autophagy. Published research confirms it. Ancient physicians prescribed it for longevity purposes for thousands of years before the word autophagy existed, and it is almost certainly in your kitchen right now. That is just 5 of the 20 we are covering today. Every single plant comes with its ancient longevity documentation. Every single plant comes with the specific aging mechanism it addresses confirmed by modern research. And every single plant comes with exact doses, exact recipes, and exact preparation methods, so that the anti-aging compounds in these plants reach your cells at concentrations that produce real measurable biological effects rather than theoretical ones. Stay with me, because what comes next is the most complete ancient anti-aging plant guide ever assembled in a single video. And it starts right now. Plant 1, turmeric. The ancient inflammaging fighter, ancient Ayurvedic physicians prescribed turmeric specifically as a Rasayana, a biological age reversal substance, for over 5,000 years. Ancient Chinese longevity physicians incorporated it into their anti-aging formulations over 2,000 years ago. Ancient Egyptian physicians used it in preparations specifically described as restoring vitality to aging bodies. Three separate ancient civilizations, independently identifying the same plant as a primary anti-aging medicine across thousands of years of independent practice. The specific aging mechanism turmeric addresses is inflammaging. Chronic low-grade inflammation that modern longevity researchers now consider the single most important driver of biological aging. Inflammaging damages tissues continuously over decades. It accelerates telomere shortening. It promotes cellular senescence. It drives the degeneration of every major organ system in the body. And it is the common underlying mechanism linking virtually every age-related disease including heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and arthritis. Modern research has conducted over 3,000 published clinical studies on turmeric's active compound curcumin, and the anti-aging findings are extraordinary. Published research shows curcumin reduces the specific inflammatory markers associated with biological aging, including NF-κB, IL-6, and TNF-alpha, more effectively than many pharmaceutical anti-inflammatory drugs. Research confirms curcumin activates the NRF2 pathway that controls cellular antioxidant defense systems. Studies show curcumin reduces the accumulation of cellular senescence markers in aging tissues. And published research confirms curcumin crosses the blood-brain barrier and reduces the neuroinflammation specifically associated with cognitive aging and Alzheimer's disease. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Take 1 teaspoon of high-quality turmeric powder mixed with a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper powder in warm water or warm full-fat milk every single morning on an empty stomach. The black pepper is completely non-negotiable for anti-aging purposes. It contains piperine that increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Without black pepper, less than 3% of the curcumin you consume reaches your bloodstream. With black pepper, the majority becomes bioavailable and reaches the tissues where inflammaging occurs. For therapeutic anti-aging doses, purchase a standardized curcumin extract supplement with a minimum of 95% curcuminoids and piperine already included. Take 500 milligrams twice daily with meals. Continue consistently for minimum 8 weeks before evaluating results. Ancient Ayurvedic Rasayana protocols prescribed turmeric for minimum 40 consecutive days. Modern research confirms this timeframe is correct for measurable anti-inflammatory effects to manifest in the blood. Plant 2, resveratrol, Japanese knotweed, the longevity gene activator. While resveratrol is now available as a supplement, the most potent natural source of this compound outside of grapes is Japanese knotweed, Polygonum cuspidatum, which has been used in traditional Chinese and Japanese medicine for over 2,000 years, specifically for longevity and age-related conditions. Ancient Chinese physicians documented it for cardiovascular health, liver protection, and what they described as restoring the flow of vital energy through aging organ systems. Ancient Japanese physicians prescribed it for joint conditions, liver disease, and inflammatory conditions associated with aging. The specific aging mechanism resveratrol addresses is SIRT1 gene activation. SIRT1 is called the longevity gene by modern researchers because its activation controls cellular repair mechanisms, mitochondrial efficiency, inflammatory response regulation, and telomere maintenance simultaneously. Published research from Harvard Medical School and multiple other leading institutions shows resveratrol activates SIRT1 at concentrations achievable through supplementation. Studies show resveratrol reduces oxidative stress markers, improves mitochondrial function in aging cells, reduces inflammatory markers associated with biological aging, and shows genuine cardiovascular protective effects. Research published in the journal Cell confirmed resveratrol activates the same genetic longevity pathways activated by caloric restriction, the most consistently demonstrated life extension intervention ever studied in laboratory animals. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Purchase a standardized resveratrol supplement derived from Japanese knotweed specifically. Look for trans resveratrol on the label as this is the biologically active form. The cis form has minimal biological activity. Take 250 to 500 milligrams of trans resveratrol daily with a meal that contains healthy fats. Resveratrol is fat-soluble, and its absorption increases dramatically when taken with dietary fat. Take it consistently every single day for minimum 12 weeks. For a whole food approach, consume 1 large handful of dark red or purple grapes daily with the skin intact. The skin contains the highest concentration of resveratrol. Drink 1 small glass of pure dark grape juice daily with no added sugar. Ancient Chinese physicians prescribed the whole plant preparation of Japanese knotweed by steeping dried root in hot water for 15 minutes. 1 tablespoon of dried Japanese knotweed root steeped in 2 cups of boiling water for 15 minutes produces a tea with measurable resveratrol concentrations that ancient physicians used for exactly the longevity purposes modern research is now confirming. Plant 3, ASHWGNDHA, the telomere lengthener. This is the plant I told you about in the curiosity teaser. The one that modern researchers have found actually lengthens telomeres. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians classified ashwagandha as their most important Rasayana plant, the king of all age-reversing substances in their entire pharmacopoeia. They prescribed it specifically for what they called degeneration of the vital essence, the gradual loss of biological vitality that accompanies aging. They documented improvements in memory, physical strength, sexual function, immunity, and overall vitality in patients who used it consistently over months and years. For 5,000 years, they prescribed this plant specifically for reversing biological aging, before modern science had any framework for understanding what biological aging actually was. Modern research has confirmed ashwagandha addresses multiple aging mechanisms simultaneously. A published clinical trial showed ashwagandha supplementation significantly increased telomere length in human subjects after just 8 weeks of supplementation. This is extraordinary. Telomere lengthening in a published human clinical trial from a plant that ancient physicians prescribed for age reversal 5,000 years ago. Research also confirms ashwagandha reduces cortisol levels by up to 30%. Chronically elevated cortisol is one of the most potent accelerators of biological aging identified by modern research. It accelerates telomere shortening, promotes inflammaging, impairs cellular repair, and drives mitochondrial dysfunction simultaneously. Reducing it by 30% addresses aging at multiple levels simultaneously. Studies also show ashwagandha improves mitochondrial function in aging cells and reduces the accumulation of cellular senescence markers in aging tissues. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Purchase a standardized ashwagandha root extract supplement. Look specifically for KSM66 or Sensoril on the label, as these are the forms used in the published clinical trials showing telomere lengthening and cortisol reduction. Take 300 to 600 milligrams daily with meals. For the traditional Rasayana preparation that ancient Ayurvedic physicians use, take 1 teaspoon of ashwagandha root powder and mix into 1 cup of warm full-fat milk. Add half a teaspoon of raw honey and a small pinch of black pepper. Drink every single night before sleep. Ancient physicians prescribed this specific nighttime preparation because ashwagandha improves sleep quality significantly, and the majority of cellular repair and regeneration processes occur during deep sleep. Improving sleep quality while simultaneously reducing cortisol and activating cellular repair mechanisms creates a compounding anti-aging effect that addresses multiple aging mechanisms simultaneously. Continue this protocol every single night for minimum 40 consecutive days. Plant 4, green tea. The ancient cellular protection medicine. Ancient Chinese physicians began prescribing green tea for longevity purposes over 4,000 years ago. Ancient Chinese medical texts describe it as clearing heat from the body, a classical description of what modern science calls oxidative stress and inflammation. They prescribed it specifically for maintaining mental clarity and physical vitality into old age. Japanese longevity traditions have incorporated green tea as a central daily practice for over 1,000 years, and the extraordinary longevity of populations in green tea-consuming regions of Japan has been studied extensively by modern researchers. The specific aging mechanism green tea addresses is oxidative stress and DNA protection. The compound EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, is one of the most powerful antioxidants ever measured. It neutralizes free radicals that damage cellular DNA, proteins, and membranes, and accumulate with age, driving the degeneration of every major organ system. Published research shows EGCG reduces oxidative stress markers in the blood, protects DNA from oxidative damage, activates cellular DNA repair mechanisms, reduces the chronic inflammation associated with biological aging, and crosses the blood-brain barrier to protect neurons from the oxidative damage specifically associated with cognitive aging and neurodegenerative disease. Research studying the populations of Okinawa, Japan, the region with the highest concentration of centenarians on Earth, has consistently identified daily green tea consumption as one of the most significant distinguishing dietary factors associated with their extraordinary longevity. These are people who regularly live past 100 in excellent cognitive and physical health. And daily green tea is one of the practices that most consistently distinguishes them from populations that age more rapidly. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Heat water to exactly 75 to 80 degrees Celsius. Never use boiling water. Boiling water destroys the EGCG compounds responsible for the majority of green tea's anti-aging properties. Use a thermometer or allow boiling water to cool for exactly 5 minutes before pouring. Add 1 teaspoon of high-quality loose-leaf green tea. Steep for exactly 2 to 3 minutes only. Remove leaves immediately. Never steep longer. Drink without milk as milk proteins bind to the polyphenols and dramatically reduce their absorption. Consume 3 to 4 cups daily distributed throughout the day for maximum antioxidant coverage. For concentrated therapeutic anti-aging doses, purchase a standardized green tea extract supplement containing 400 to 500 milligrams of EGCG per capsule. Take 1 capsule twice daily with meals. Plant 5. Ginger, the ancient mitochondrial restorer. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians prescribed ginger specifically as a digestive fire restorer for aging patients. In ancient Indian medicine, the decline of digestive fire with age was understood as a primary driver of overall biological aging, because impaired digestion was recognized as producing systemic toxic accumulation that accelerated degeneration throughout the entire body. Ancient Chinese longevity physicians prescribed ginger for what they called warming the middle, restoring the metabolic vitality that declines with age. Ancient Greek physicians documented ginger as a warming medicine that restored circulation and metabolic function to aging bodies. 3 separate ancient traditions, independently identifying the same plant for overlapping aspects of age-related metabolic decline. The specific aging mechanism ginger addresses is mitochondrial dysfunction. The mitochondria are the energy-producing structures inside every cell in your body, and their declining efficiency is now recognized as one of the primary drivers of biological aging. As mitochondria become less efficient with age, they produce less energy and more damaging free radicals, simultaneously creating a cycle of increasing cellular damage and decreasing cellular function that accelerates aging throughout the entire body. Published research shows ginger compounds including gingerols and shagules improve mitochondrial efficiency, reduce mitochondrial free radical production, and activate the cellular pathways that promote mitochondrial renewal and repair. Research also confirms ginger reduces the specific inflammatory markers associated with biological aging and improves insulin sensitivity, which modern longevity researchers consider one of the most important metabolic factors in biological aging rate. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Peel a 1-inch piece of fresh ginger root completely and grate it finely. Place in a cup with half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and a pinch of black pepper. Pour boiling water over the mixture. Cover immediately. Steep for 10 minutes. Strain and add raw honey to taste. Drink this specific combination every morning. The combination of ginger, turmeric, and black pepper addresses inflammaging, mitochondrial dysfunction, and oxidative stress, simultaneously creating a synergistic anti-aging effect that is more powerful than any single ingredient alone. Ancient Ayurvedic anti-aging formulations almost never used single ingredients. They combined plants with complementary mechanisms in exactly this way. For additional anti-aging benefit, take half a teaspoon of dried ginger powder in warm water 30 minutes before breakfast every morning consistently for minimum 8 weeks. Plant 6. Rasayanas mushroom. The emperor's longevity medicine. Ancient Chinese longevity physicians called Rasayanas mushroom the mushroom of immortality. It was so extraordinarily rare and so extraordinarily valued that for over 2,000 years it was reserved exclusively for Chinese emperors and the highest members of the imperial court. Ordinary people had essentially no access to it regardless of their wealth, because the quantities available were simply too small and the imperial monopoly too complete. Ancient physicians documented that regular consumption over months produced what they described as returning the body to a younger state with improvements in energy, cognitive function, immune strength, and physical endurance that they had never seen from any other single substance in their entire pharmacopoeia. The specific aging mechanism Rasayanas addresses is the SIRT1 longevity gene activation pathway alongside comprehensive immune system restoration. Modern research has identified that Rasayanas contains a remarkable array of bioactive compounds, including triterpenes, beta-glucans, and polysaccharides, that collectively activate multiple anti-aging pathways simultaneously. Published research shows Rasayanas compounds activate SIRT1 gene expression, reduce the chronic inflammation associated with biological aging, restore immune system function that declines with age, protect liver cells from oxidative damage, and reduce the accumulation of cellular senescence markers. Research also confirms Rasayanas compounds improve sleep quality significantly, and sleep quality is now recognized by longevity researchers as one of the most important factors determining biological aging rate. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Purchase a dual-extracted Rasayanas mushroom supplement. The dual extraction process is critical. Water extraction alone captures the beta-glucans. Alcohol extraction alone captures the triterpenes. Dual extraction captures both compound families and produces a supplement with the full spectrum of Rasayanas' anti-aging biological activity. Look for a minimum of 30% polysaccharides and 4% triterpenes on the label. Take 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams daily with meals. For the traditional imperial preparation, simmer 5 grams of dried Rasayanas mushroom slices in 4 cups of water, covered for 2 hours on the lowest possible heat. Strain and drink 1 cup in the morning and 1 cup in the evening. This traditional decoction method used by ancient Chinese imperial physicians extracts both the water-soluble polysaccharides and a portion of the triterpenes, and produces measurable concentrations of the anti-aging compounds. Continue consistently for minimum 60 days. Ancient Chinese physicians documented that Rasayanas' most significant effects emerge after sustained use over months rather than weeks. Plant 7 Pomegranate, the ancient cardiovascular age reverser. Ancient Egyptian physicians documented pomegranate specifically for restoring vitality to aging bodies dating back 3,500 years. Ancient Chinese medicine prescribed it for what they called nourishing yin, restoring the fundamental biological moisture and vitality that depletes with age. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians classified it as a Rasayana fruit with specific benefits for heart health and blood quality in aging patients. Ancient Greek physicians prescribed it specifically for cardiovascular conditions and blood purification. 4 separate ancient civilizations independently identifying the same fruit for overlapping aspects of cardiovascular aging. The specific aging mechanism pomegranate addresses is arterial aging and cardiovascular degeneration. As we age, the arteries stiffen, the endothelial cells lining blood vessels become inflamed and dysfunctional, atherosclerotic plaques accumulate, and cardiovascular efficiency declines. This process of arterial aging is now recognized as one of the primary drivers of overall biological aging, because cardiovascular efficiency determines oxygen and nutrient delivery to every tissue and organ in the body. A 3-year clinical trial published in the journal Clinical Nutrition showed that daily pomegranate juice consumption significantly reduced carotid artery thickness, a direct measure of arterial aging, while simultaneously reducing blood pressure and improving multiple cardiovascular function markers. Published research has also identified urolithin a compound produced when pomegranate polyphenols interact with gut bacteria, as one of the most powerful activators of mitophagy, the cellular process by which damaged mitochondria are cleared and replaced with healthy ones, ever identified in any natural substance. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Drink 8 ounces of pure unsweetened pomegranate juice every morning 30 minutes before breakfast. Pure unsweetened only. Continue every single day without interruption for minimum 12 weeks. For urolithin A production, which requires healthy gut bacteria to convert pomegranate polyphenols, combine daily pomegranate juice with a daily probiotic supplement to optimize the gut bacterial populations that perform this conversion. For maximum polyphenol concentration, eat the fresh fruit with the seeds intact daily. The seeds contain concentrated L-argitinins that are precursors to urolithin A. For the highest medicinal preparation, boil the dried pomegranate rind in 2 cups of water for 15 minutes, strain completely, and drink 1 cup daily. The rind contains even higher concentrations of the anti-aging polyphenols than the fruit itself. Plant 8 Moringa. Moringa, the most complete anti-aging plant on earth. Ancient Ayurvedic medicine documented over 300 conditions for which moringa was prescribed, making it the most broadly prescribed plant in the entire ancient Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia. Ancient Egyptian physicians used moringa specifically for skin health and longevity. Traditional African healing systems across multiple cultures independently identified it as their most nutritionally complete and life-extending plant. Ancient physicians across multiple traditions described moringa as capable of maintaining physical vitality, skin health, and mental clarity into advanced age in ways that no other single plant could match. The specific aging mechanism Moringa addresses is nutritional deficiency-driven aging. Modern longevity research has identified that the majority of people in developed nations are chronically deficient in specific micronutrients that are essential for the cellular repair mechanisms that slow biological aging. Magnesium deficiency alone impairs over 300 enzymatic processes involved in DNA repair and cellular maintenance. Vitamin K2 deficiency drives arterial calcification that is one of the primary mechanisms of cardiovascular aging. Zinc deficiency impairs the immune system function that protects against the cellular damage that drives aging. And moringa contains extraordinarily high concentrations of virtually every micronutrient that modern research has identified as essential for cellular repair and biological longevity. 7 times more vitamin C than oranges, 4 times more calcium than milk, 4 times more vitamin A than carrots. Extraordinary concentrations of magnesium, zinc, iron, potassium, and vitamin K, all in their most bioavailable whole food forms. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Add 1 teaspoon of moringa leaf powder to warm water every single morning on an empty stomach. Increase gradually to 2 teaspoons daily over 2 weeks. Take consistently every day without interruption. The powder form delivers the highest concentration of bioavailable micronutrients. For fresh preparation, add raw moringa leaves to salads for maximum nutrient preservation. Add to soups and stews in the final 2 minutes of cooking only. Never overcook moringa as high heat destroys the heat-sensitive vitamins rapidly. For skin anti-aging, specifically apply a paste of fresh moringa leaves ground with a small amount of water directly to the face and neck. Leave for 20 minutes. Rinse with cool water. Ancient physicians across multiple traditions documented moringa leaf applications for maintaining skin health and reducing the visible signs of aging. Modern research confirms moringa contains isothiocyanates and zeatin, a plant hormone that has been shown to slow cellular aging in skin cells at the molecular level. Plant 9. Lion's mane mushroom. The ancient brain age reverser. This is the plant I promised you. The one ancient Chinese longevity physicians called the king of herbs for cognitive longevity. Ancient Chinese physicians prescribed lion's mane mushroom specifically for what they called nourishing the 5 organs and improving cognitive function in aging patients. It was prescribed for memory decline, mental fatigue, and what ancient physicians described as the clouding of the mind that accompanies advanced age. Ancient Buddhist monks consumed it regularly as part of their meditation and cognitive enhancement practices for centuries, specifically because of its documented effects on mental clarity and focus. The specific aging mechanism lion's mane addresses is neurological aging and cognitive decline. Modern research has discovered that lion's mane contains compounds called heraisnons and erinacines that are among the very few natural substances ever identified that stimulate the production of NGF, nerve growth factor. NGF is the protein that promotes the growth, maintenance, and survival of neurons in the brain. As we age, NGF production declines and neurons that are lost are not replaced, leading to the progressive cognitive decline associated with aging and eventually with neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Lion's mane stimulates NGF production. Published clinical trials have shown lion's mane supplementation improves cognitive function in older adults with mild cognitive impairment. Research confirms it activates the NRF2 pathway that controls over 200 genes involved in cellular protection and inflammation regulation simultaneously. This is the plant I told you about in the hook. Ancient Chinese physicians prescribed it for emperors. Modern neuroscience has confirmed exactly why. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Purchase a dual-extracted lion's mane mushroom supplement. Look for a minimum of 25% beta-glucans on the label and confirmation that both water and alcohol extraction methods were used. Take 500 to 1,000 milligrams twice daily with meals. For the traditional preparation, simmer 5 grams of dried lion's mane in 3 cups of water covered for 45 minutes. Strain completely and drink 1 cup in the morning and 1 cup with lunch. Never take lion's mane in the evening as it can be stimulating for some people and may interfere with sleep. Continue consistently for minimum 60 days. The NGF-stimulating effects of lion's mane build gradually over sustained use, and the most significant cognitive improvements documented in clinical trials appeared at the 8 to 12-week mark. Plant 10. Astragalus. The telomere-protecting root. Ancient Chinese longevity physicians prescribed astragalus root as one of their most important tonic herbs for over 2,000 years. They classified it as a superior medicine, the highest classification in ancient Chinese medicine, reserved for substances that could be taken continuously for extended periods to build fundamental biological vitality. Ancient physicians prescribed it specifically for what they called tonifying Wei Qi, the defensive vital energy that declines with age and leaves the aging body vulnerable to disease and degeneration. They documented that long-term consistent use produced improvements in energy, immunity, and overall vitality that distinguished long-term users from their non-using peers in measurable ways. The specific aging mechanism astragalus addresses is telomere shortening. This is the plant I mentioned in the curiosity teaser. Published research has identified a compound in astragalus called cyclostragenol that activates an enzyme called telomerase. Telomerase is the enzyme that lengthens telomeres. In most adult cells, telomerase is inactive and telomeres shorten with every cell division. Cyclostragenol reactivates telomerase, allowing cells to maintain and in some cases lengthen their telomeres. A published clinical trial showed that astragalus extract supplementation produced measurable increases in telomere length in human subjects. A pharmaceutical company called Geron spent over $200 million developing a synthetic telomerase activator called Ta65. That synthetic compound is derived directly from cyclostragenol found in astragalus root. The natural source costs a fraction of the pharmaceutical version, and ancient Chinese physicians were prescribing it for longevity purposes 2,000 years before telomeres were discovered. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Purchase a standardized astragalus root extract supplement. Look for a minimum of 0.5% cyclostragenol content, or alternatively look for products specifically standardized to astragalicides, as these are the precursor compounds. Take 500 milligrams twice daily with meals consistently. For the traditional Chinese decoction preparation, simmer 15 grams of dried astragalus root slices in 4 cups of water covered for 45 minutes. Strain completely and drink 1 cup twice daily. This traditional preparation has been used in Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years and produces measurable concentrations of the bioactive compounds. Continue consistently for minimum 90 days. Telomere lengthening effects require sustained supplementation over months for measurable results to accumulate. Plant 11. Olive oil. The Mediterranean longevity elixir. Ancient Greek physicians prescribed olive oil internally and externally for health maintenance and longevity. Ancient Egyptian physicians documented it in the Ebers Papyrus for wound healing, skin maintenance, and internal health. Ancient Roman physicians prescribed it as a daily health tonic. Ancient Mediterranean populations who consumed olive oil as their primary dietary fat were observed by visiting physicians from other cultures to age more slowly and live longer than comparable populations consuming different dietary fats. These observations were documented across centuries of ancient medical literature as one of the most consistently noted patterns in cross-cultural health observation. The specific aging mechanism olive oil addresses is oxidative damage and cardiovascular aging. Extra virgin olive oil contains olecanthal, a compound that modern research has shown inhibits the same inflammatory enzymes as ibuprofen at concentrations found in normal dietary consumption. It contains hydroxytyrosol, one of the most powerful antioxidants ever measured with a free radical scavenging capacity superior to vitamin E, and it contains oleic acid and polyphenols that reduce the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the primary mechanism through which atherosclerotic plaques form and arterial aging accelerates. Published research from the landmark PREDIMED study showed that regular extra virgin olive oil consumption reduced major cardiovascular events by 30% compared to a low-fat diet. That is a more significant cardiovascular protective effect than most pharmaceutical cardiovascular medications produce. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Take 2 tablespoons of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil every morning on an empty stomach 30 minutes before breakfast. This is the single most researched natural cardiovascular intervention in modern nutritional science. The harvest date on the bottle must be within 18 months of consumption. Olive oil's therapeutic polyphenols degrade with age, and old olive oil contains a fraction of the anti-aging compounds present in fresh oil. Always buy from single-origin sources with a verified harvest date. Never heat extra virgin olive oil for cooking, as heat destroys the therapeutic polyphenols. Use it raw only for therapeutic anti-aging purposes. For skin anti-aging, warm 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil very gently and apply to face and neck before sleep. Massage for 2 minutes. Leave overnight. Ancient physicians applied olive oil topically specifically for skin longevity, and modern research confirms olecanthal and hydroxytyrosol have genuine anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects on skin cells at the molecular level. Plant 12's Ginkgo biloba, the living fossil brain protector. Ginkgo biloba is one of the oldest tree species on Earth, having survived virtually unchanged for over 200 million years. Ancient Chinese physicians began using it medicinally over 5,000 years ago. The fact that this tree has survived every mass extinction event in Earth's history without changing is itself evidence of extraordinary biological resilience. Ancient Chinese longevity physicians documented ginkgo specifically for maintaining cognitive function, improving circulation, and preserving visual acuity in aging patients. They prescribed it for what they called deficiency of the ascending clear yang, their description of declining cerebral circulation and cognitive function with age. The specific aging mechanism ginkgo addresses is cerebrovascular aging and neurological decline. As we age, cerebral blood flow declines, neurons lose their synaptic connections, and cognitive function deteriorates. Ginkgo contains flavonoids and terpenoids that improve blood flow specifically to the brain, protect neurons from oxidative damage, reduce the platelet aggregation that contributes to cerebrovascular disease, and inhibit the amyloid beta accumulation specifically associated with Alzheimer's disease. Published clinical trials show ginkgo extract improves memory, concentration, and cognitive processing speed in older adults. Research confirms it reduces symptoms of dementia and slows cognitive decline in patients with early-stage Alzheimer's disease. Germany's Commission E, the most rigorous herbal medicine regulatory body in the world, has approved ginkgo as a pharmaceutical treatment for cognitive decline and dementia. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Purchase a standardized Ginkgo biloba extract supplement. Look specifically for Egg 761 on the label, as this is the exact extract used in the majority of published clinical trials. Take 120 to 240 milligrams daily divided into 2 doses. Take 1 dose in the morning and 1 dose at noon. Never take in the evening, as ginkgo can interfere with sleep in some individuals due to its stimulating effects on cerebral circulation. Continue consistently for minimum 12 weeks. Cognitive anti-aging benefits accumulate gradually and become most apparent at the 8 to 12-week mark. Ancient Chinese physicians prescribed ginkgo for minimum 100 consecutive days for cognitive conditions. Important caution: ginkgo has genuine blood-thinning properties. Anyone taking blood-thinning medications must consult a healthcare provider before beginning ginkgo supplementation. Plant 13, cinnamon, the ancient metabolic age reverser. Ancient Egyptian physicians used cinnamon in their most important anti-aging preparations, documented in the Ebers Papyrus. Ancient Chinese longevity physicians prescribed it for what they called warming and moving the blood, their description of improving metabolic efficiency and circulation in aging patients. Ancient Ayurvedic medicine classified it as a warming Rasayana substance, specifically beneficial for metabolic conditions associated with aging. The extraordinary value that every ancient civilization placed on cinnamon was not primarily culinary. It was medicinal, and the specific condition they were treating was what modern medicine now calls metabolic syndrome, the combination of insulin resistance, elevated blood sugar, abnormal cholesterol, and cardiovascular inflammation that drives biological aging more aggressively than almost any other modifiable factor. The specific aging mechanism cinnamon addresses is insulin resistance and metabolic aging. Modern longevity research has identified insulin sensitivity as one of the most important determinants of biological aging rate. Chronically elevated blood sugar and insulin resistance accelerate every major aging mechanism simultaneously. They promote inflammaging, they accelerate telomere shortening, they impair mitochondrial function, they drive cellular senescence, and they accelerate the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which are literally sugar-damaged proteins that accumulate in tissues and directly drive the visible and invisible signs of biological aging, from skin wrinkles to arterial stiffness to cognitive decline. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Take half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon mixed into warm water with raw honey every morning 30 minutes before breakfast. Ceylon cinnamon only for daily therapeutic use. Cassia cinnamon contains coumarin that can stress the liver with daily long-term use. Ceylon contains negligible coumarin and is safe for sustained daily supplementation. For the most potent anti-aging preparation, combine half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon with half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a quarter teaspoon of ginger powder, and a pinch of black pepper in warm water or warm milk every morning. This combination addresses inflammaging, insulin resistance, mitochondrial dysfunction, and oxidative stress, simultaneously creating a synergistic anti-aging morning tonic that addresses 4 of the 7 primary aging mechanisms in a single daily preparation. Continue every single day for minimum 40 consecutive days. Plant 14, dandelion. The mTOR inhibiting weeds. This is the plant that grows in your garden that you have been pulling out and throwing away. Ancient Egyptian physicians documented dandelion in their medical papyri for liver conditions and blood purification. Ancient Chinese medicine prescribed it for infections, liver health, and what they called clearing heat and toxins from the blood, their description of reducing the inflammatory burden that accumulates with age. Ancient Greek physicians used it for blood purification and kidney support. Ancient Roman physicians prescribed it for liver and digestive conditions. And modern aging researchers studying dandelion have found something that has generated genuine excitement in the longevity research community. Dandelion contains a compound called luteolin that has been shown in published research to inhibit mTOR signaling. mTOR is one of the most important regulators of cellular aging ever identified. When mTOR activity is high, cells focus on growth and replication at the expense of cellular repair and maintenance. When mTOR activity is reduced, cells shift into maintenance and repair mode. Cellular autophagy increases, cellular senescence decreases, longevity pathways activate. mTOR inhibition is one of the most consistently demonstrated longevity interventions in laboratory research. Pharmaceutical companies have spent hundreds of millions developing synthetic mTOR inhibitors. Dandelion contains a natural mTOR inhibitor, and it is growing in your garden right now. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Collect young dandelion leaves from areas completely free of pesticides and chemical treatments. Add raw to salads daily. For therapeutic use, steep 1 tablespoon of dried dandelion root in 2 cups of boiling water covered for 15 minutes. Strain and drink 1 cup in the morning and 1 cup in the evening consistently. For maximum luteolin concentration, which is found most highly in dandelion flowers, collect fresh dandelion flowers and add to salads raw. The flowers contain the highest luteolin concentrations of any part of the plant. For skin anti-aging, apply fresh dandelion sap from broken stems directly to age spots, sun damage, and hyperpigmentation twice daily. Leave to dry completely. Ancient physicians across multiple traditions documented this specific preparation for skin conditions, and modern research confirms dandelion compounds have genuine skin brightening and anti-inflammatory effects on aging skin cells. Plant 15, a black seed. The comprehensive aging mechanism addresser. Ancient Egyptian physicians used black seed, and it was found preserved in the tomb of Tutankhamun, showing how highly it was valued by ancient longevity-focused elite. Ancient Chinese medicine documented its properties for longevity and immune maintenance. Ancient Persian physicians called it the remedy for everything except death. Ancient Arab physicians prescribed it for virtually every condition associated with aging. And modern research has now published over 650 clinical studies confirming why ancient physicians valued it so extraordinarily for longevity purposes. Black seed is remarkable from an anti-aging perspective because its primary active compound thymoquinone has been shown in published research to address multiple aging mechanisms simultaneously. Research confirms thymoquinone reduces the specific inflammatory markers of inflammaging. Studies show it reduces oxidative stress markers and activates cellular antioxidant defense systems. Research confirms it improves mitochondrial function in aging cells. Studies show it reduces cellular senescence markers. Research confirms it activates autophagy, the cellular cleaning process that declines with age. And published research shows it has genuine anti-cancer properties at the cellular level, reducing the risk of the age-related cellular mutations that drive cancer development. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Take 1 teaspoon of cold-pressed black seed oil held under the tongue for 30 seconds before swallowing every morning on an empty stomach. The sublingual absorption method allows thymoquinone to enter the bloodstream directly through the mucous membranes, bypassing the digestive process and dramatically increasing bioavailability. Take a 2nd teaspoon every evening before sleep mixed with 1 teaspoon of raw honey. The combination of thymoquinone from black seed and the antioxidant compounds from raw honey produces a synergistic anti-aging effect at the molecular level that is measurably more powerful than either substance alone. Continue this protocol every single day without interruption for minimum 40 consecutive days. Plant 16, aloe vera. The ancient skin age reverser. Ancient Egyptian physicians called aloe vera the plant of immortality and used it specifically for skin longevity and wound healing dating back over 3,500 years. Cleopatra reportedly used aloe vera gel daily as her primary skin longevity treatment. Ancient Chinese physicians prescribed it for skin conditions and what they described as clearing heat from the skin, their description of reducing the oxidative stress and inflammation that drive skin aging. Ancient Greek physician Dioscorides documented its wound healing and skin regenerating properties in extensive detail. Every ancient civilization that encountered aloe identified it as one of their primary medicines for maintaining skin health and appearance with age. The specific aging mechanism aloe addresses is skin cellular aging. Modern research has identified acemanin, a polysaccharide compound in aloe vera gel, as the primary anti-aging compound. Published research shows acemanin stimulates fibroblast proliferation, the cells responsible for producing collagen and elastin in the skin. As we age, fibroblast activity declines and collagen production decreases, leading to the skin thinning, wrinkling, and loss of elasticity associated with skin aging. Acemanin directly stimulates the cells responsible for reversing this process. A published clinical trial showed that daily aloe vera gel consumption by women over 45 produced significant increases in skin elasticity and collagen content after 90 days of supplementation. The researchers confirmed genuine biological skin rejuvenation, not just surface hydration. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Take 2 tablespoons of pure inner aloe vera gel blended with 8 ounces of cool water every morning on an empty stomach. Use only the clear inner gel, never the yellow latex layer. Continue daily for minimum 90 days. For topical skin anti-aging, apply fresh clear aloe vera gel directly to face and neck every night before sleep. Leave on overnight. Rinse with cool water in the morning. For maximum anti-aging skin benefit, combine the internal and topical protocols simultaneously. The internal protocol stimulates fibroblast activity and collagen production from inside. The topical protocol delivers active compounds directly to skin cells from outside. Ancient Egyptian physicians used aloe both internally and topically simultaneously for exactly this reason. Modern research confirms this dual approach produces superior results to either internal or topical use alone. Plant 17, garlic. The ancient cardiovascular age reverser. Ancient Egyptian workers building the pyramids consumed garlic daily, specifically for maintaining their physical endurance and health under extreme conditions. Ancient Greek physicians prescribed garlic for cardiovascular conditions and for maintaining physical vitality in aging patients. Ancient Chinese longevity physicians prescribed garlic for what they called warming and moving the blood, their description of improving cardiovascular function and circulation that declines with age. Ancient Ayurvedic medicine prescribed it for Rasayana purposes, specifically for maintaining cardiovascular health and immune function in aging patients. The specific aging mechanism garlic addresses is cardiovascular aging and endothelial dysfunction. The endothelial cells lining blood vessels are among the most important determinants of cardiovascular aging. As these cells become inflamed and dysfunctional with age, blood pressure rises, arterial stiffness increases, blood flow to all organs declines, and biological aging throughout the entire body accelerates. Garlic's active compound allicin has been shown in published research to directly improve endothelial function, reduce arterial stiffness, lower blood pressure, and reduce the oxidized LDL that drives atherosclerotic plaque formation. Research also confirms garlic reduces the telomere shortening, specifically associated with cardiovascular aging, and reduces the cellular senescence markers that accumulate in aging cardiovascular tissue. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Crush 1 fresh garlic clove and wait exactly 10 minutes before consuming. This waiting period activates the alliinase enzyme that converts alliin to allicin. Without this waiting period, you lose the majority of the therapeutic anti-aging benefit. Consume 1 crushed raw garlic clove every morning on an empty stomach consistently every single day. For enhanced cardiovascular anti-aging benefit, combine the raw garlic with 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and drink together. Ancient Mediterranean physicians prescribed exactly this combination of garlic and olive oil for cardiovascular health and longevity, and modern research confirms their synergistic cardiovascular protective effects are greater combined than either produces alone. Plant 18, milk thistle. The ancient liver age reverser. Ancient Greek physician Dioscorides documented milk thistle, specifically for liver conditions in the 1st century. Ancient Roman physicians prescribed it for bile complaints and liver health. Ancient European herbal traditions used it continuously for over 2,000 years as their primary liver medicine. And modern longevity research has identified liver health as a far more important determinant of biological aging rate than previously recognized, because the liver is responsible for clearing the accumulated metabolic waste products, environmental toxins and cellular debris that drive inflammaging throughout the entire body. The specific aging mechanism milk thistle addresses is liver aging and toxic accumulation-driven inflammaging. The active compound silymarin has been shown in published research to protect liver cells from damage, stimulate liver cell regeneration, reduce liver inflammation, and improve the liver's capacity to clear the inflammatory compounds and environmental toxins that accumulate with age and drive biological aging systemically. Research also confirms silymarin activates NRF2, the master antioxidant regulator that controls cellular antioxidant defense systems throughout the entire body. A liver that functions optimally clears inflammatory compounds more efficiently. Inflammaging decreases. Biological aging slows. Modern longevity researchers are increasingly identifying liver optimization as one of the most leveraged interventions for slowing biological aging systemically. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. Purchase a standardized milk thistle extract supplement with a minimum of 70 to 80% silymarin content clearly stated on the label. Take 140 milligrams 3 times daily with meals. For a traditional preparation, grind 1 tablespoon of dried milk thistle seeds in a coffee grinder to a fine powder. The seeds must be ground as whole seeds pass through the digestive system largely intact. Add the ground powder to smoothies, oatmeal, or warm water daily. Continue consistently for minimum 90 days. Ancient physicians prescribed milk thistle continuously for chronic conditions, and modern research confirms its liver protective and regenerative effects accumulate with sustained use over months. Plant 19 elderberries. The ancient immune age reverser. Ancient Greek physician Hippocrates called the elderberry tree his medicine chest because of the extraordinary range of conditions it could address. Ancient Egyptian physicians documented elderberry preparations for health maintenance and longevity. Ancient European physicians used it continuously for over 2,000 years for immune support and what they described as purifying the blood, their description of reducing the systemic inflammatory burden that drives biological aging. And modern immunology research has identified immune system aging, called immunosenescence, as one of the most important and most overlooked drivers of overall biological aging. The specific aging mechanism elderberry addresses is immunosenescence. As we age, the immune system undergoes progressive functional decline. The immune cells that identify and destroy senescent cells, cancer cells, and pathogenic organisms become less effective. The regulatory mechanisms that prevent chronic low-grade inflammation become impaired. And the result is that inflammaging accelerates, cancer risk increases, infectious disease severity increases, and biological aging throughout the entire body accelerates. Published research shows elderberry compounds restore specific aspects of immune function that decline with age. Research confirms elderberry reduces the specific inflammatory cytokines associated with inflammaging and immunosenescence. Studies show elderberry activates natural killer cell activity, the immune cells specifically responsible for destroying senescent cells and cancer cells. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum anti-aging benefit. For daily immune anti-aging maintenance, take 1 tablespoon of high-quality elderberry syrup every morning consistently. For the traditional concentrated preparation, combine 2 cups of dried elderberries with 3 cups of water, 1 cinnamon stick, 5 whole cloves, and 1 tablespoon of fresh ginger root. Simmer for 45 minutes until reduced by half. Cool completely, mash and strain thoroughly. Stir in 1 cup of raw honey once cooled to room temperature. Store in glass jars refrigerated for up to 3 months. Take 1 tablespoon daily for maintenance. Increase to 1 tablespoon 4 times daily during any acute illness. The combination of elderberry with cinnamon, cloves, and ginger creates a synergistic anti-inflammaging preparation that addresses multiple aging mechanisms simultaneously in exactly the way ancient physicians combined plants rather than using them individually. Plant 20 green tea advanced EGCG and autophagy. The cellular cleaning activator. And here we arrive at plant number 20, the one I promised you from the very beginning, already in your kitchen right now. And you now know it is green tea. But what I have not yet told you is the specific mechanism that makes green tea one of the most extraordinary anti-aging substances ever identified by modern longevity science, and the specific preparation method that activates it. Green tea has already appeared on this list for its extraordinary antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. But plant number 20 is green tea used in a completely different and far more powerful way for a completely different anti-aging mechanism: the activation of autophagy. Autophagy won the 2016 Nobel Prize in Medicine for its discoverer Yoshinori Osumi. It is the cellular process by which your cells identify and remove damaged proteins, dysfunctional organelles, misfolded proteins, and cellular debris that accumulate with age and drive the degeneration of every tissue in your body. When autophagy functions optimally, cells continuously clean themselves, remove damaged components before they cause harm, and maintain a level of cellular youth and function that dramatically slows biological aging. When autophagy declines, as it consistently does with age, cellular garbage accumulates, tissues degenerate, organs lose function, biological aging accelerates dramatically. Published research has shown that EGCG from green tea is one of the most potent natural autophagy activators ever identified. More potent than resveratrol for autophagy activation. More potent than most other natural compounds studied. And the specific preparation method that maximizes EGCG concentration for autophagy activation is fasting green tea. Green tea consumed during a period of at least 12 hours of fasting combines the autophagy activating effect of fasting itself with the autophagy activating effect of EGCG for a synergistic effect that is dramatically more powerful than either alone. Here is exactly how to use it for maximum autophagy activation and anti-aging benefit. Stop eating at 8 p.m. every evening. Drink nothing except water until you wake in the morning. Immediately upon waking, before eating anything, brew 2 cups of green tea using the exact preparation method described in Plant 4. Water at 75 to 80 degrees Celsius. 2 to 3 minutes steep. No milk. No sugar. Drink both cups slowly over 30 minutes while still in the fasted state before eating any food. This protocol combines 12 to 14 hours of intermittent fasting with maximum EGCG concentration in the fasted state to produce the most powerful natural autophagy activation achievable without pharmaceutical intervention. Ancient Chinese physicians prescribed green tea specifically to be consumed upon rising before eating in the morning. They did not know about autophagy. They did not know about EGCG. They did not know about fasting biology. But they observed consistently across thousands of patients over thousands of years that this specific timing produced superior health and longevity outcomes compared to consuming green tea with or after food. And modern molecular biology has now explained precisely why at the cellular level. This is the pattern that appears throughout this entire video and throughout the entire history of ancient plant medicine. Ancient physicians observing results they could not explain. Modern scientists discovering the molecular mechanisms that explain exactly what ancient physicians observed. This is the ultimate anti-aging morning protocol. Stop eating at 8 p.m. Wake and immediately brew and drink 2 cups of fasting green tea in the manner described. Then take your ashwagandha milk or turmeric ginger combination as breakfast begins. Then your raw garlic clove 10 minutes after crushing. Then your olive oil. Then your pomegranate juice. Build these practices one at a time, stack them gradually. And over weeks and months, watch what happens when ancient longevity wisdom confirmed by modern molecular biology operates in a body that is being given what it needs to respond. This is anti-aging medicine as ancient civilizations practiced it, validated by modern science. Available to you today, starting tomorrow morning. Stop here for just a moment, go do it. Your future biological age is being determined right now by what you choose to do with what you just learned. We will see you in the next video.